of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
The views and opinions expressed by the guest and presenters of Radio Al Ansar are not necessarily the views and opinions of Radio Al Ansar and the Al Ansar Foundation.
TBR, it is 90.4 FM in Durban, 105.6 FM in Pietermaritzburg. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. If you're watching the video, salam to you and welcome. Now, newly appointed Police Minister Senzo Mnchunu'S said that the government could no longer allow corrupt law enforcement officials to serve in the police service. Mnchunu'S was speaking at a media briefing in Pretoria yesterday where he outlined plans to combat crime and corruption as he hits the ground running in his new role. According to a study by the South African Human Science Research Council, only 27% of people have trust in the men and women in blue. Minister Mnchunu'S believes corrupt police officers have contributed to the low public trust in law enforcement authorities. Joining us on the program this morning is Senior Forensic Investigator Calvin Rafadi, no stranger to the program. Good morning, Mr. Rafadi. Welcome to the program.
Salam and salam to your listeners.
Welcome. Always a pleasure having you on the show. And thank you for joining us on camera this morning as well. As we begin, what are your initial thoughts on when Senzo Mnchunu'S was announced as the new Minister of Police?
Well, I guess we needed a new change, a new head of in the ministry. You know, he comes up with new ideas. And, listening to him yesterday, one can say he's a very good man. He's not arrogant. For the mere fact that he invites all the stakeholders and acknowledges the role that even the media and religious players they play in combating crime.
While outlining his plans for the ministry, Mnchunu'S then mentioned curbing rape and murders were priorities. What do you see as the most pressing crime issues that need immediate attention?
Well, I guess, crime it's so high now. All types of crime, all types of modus operandi, they need to be tackled. You know, today it can be my child getting raped at school. Tomorrow it can be your child kidnapped at school. Your father can be hijacked. So all of them, they are of priority. And I think he needs to task the right leadership into right structures to deal with crime and combat these particular crimes.
Absolutely. The minister emphasized the need for amendments to the South African Police Services Act. What changes do you believe are crucial to enhance the effectiveness of law enforcement in South Africa?
Well, it's a big elephant to chow, but some of the main issues that the police are facing at the moment is that well-trained police officers, well-specialized tax team who are well-trained, they now join security, private securities. They leave the police and go and join private securities. So I think in some of those policies, they need to amend, maybe perhaps one of the policies that will stipulate that if the government invests a lot in training you to, help them in the police, one shouldn't just jump out of the police and get into the private security, because that is a real challenge. And that's why now police are lacking in some of the resources and most of the skills.
Mm-hmm. Technology investment is a key component of the crime prevention strategy mentioned by Minister. How can advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and data specifically aid in combating crime here in South Africa?
Well, it helps a lot. And I like the fact that he mentioned that crime intelligence is the backbone of SAPS. Now, most of the resources when it comes to technology, they are deployed at that particular unit called SAPS Crime Intelligence. Now, the only challenge that we have, and we work with police every day, if not every 1 hour. The challenges that we have is cases like kidnapping, for instance, where a particular technology need to be deployed or unleashed to go and deal with a particular incident. The red tape of signatures when it comes to that. That's why we fail in combating such crime on a real time. Because by the time you get a signature of one of the generals, he's coming from a funeral, you can't find him on the phone. The next day he's at some salon or some event. And then by the time you find that person to just give a signature, is 2 days, 48 hours. And then the criminals, where are they by then? Every 2 hours, they constantly demanding ransom and changing SIM cards.
What specific resources are most urgently needed to improve police effectiveness on the ground?
Yeah, I think our police, especially men in blue and women, they need body cams. We want to bring back this issue of the trust deficit between police and the society. And that's what he emphasized also, because our communities, they'll call on a baki and say there's a drug lord there. And then the baki will drive in, drive out smiling. So it is assumed and alleged that they taking bribes from such criminals. So if they've got body cams, we will now have to compare what is alleged to the body cams. But those are some of the technologies that they need to deploy. And similarly, also we need issues of drones and cameras in every corners where there's high hotspots of crime. And the police need to work also with the private securities and combat such crimes.
Finally, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing the implementation of the integrated national crime prevention strategy here in South Africa?
Yeah, look, like we say, crime intelligence needs to improve. We need change in leadership and management in that portfolio, because before you can deal with any crime, you need to understand the modus operandi. You need to break the modus operandi, but also at the same time, like we say, we are happy that he called upon the media in helping to expose some of the modus operandi, because when it comes to crime, the modus operandi, once it's exposed, the criminals, they tend to slow down. They are not step ahead. But what we can say is, in the crime intelligence, we need some great improvement, to a point that we also, call the minister to look into this issue of paying informants, or the so-called sources, the so-called 3,000 in combating Schedule 6 crime offenses, meaning your organized crime. You cannot take an informant to go and infiltrate a serious syndicate, and yet you pay them 3,000. So those are some of the challenges that they need to be looked at and be revised, and crime intelligence, they need to up their game.
As a final question from me this morning, and I think South Africa wants to know, because here's a new minister new person that's been put into the role of Minister of Police. I don't want to talk about our experience with the previous minister. Let's talk about this gentleman who's assumed the position from just 2 odd weeks ago, Edward Senzo Mnchunu'S. South African politician. He was previously Premier of KwaZulu-Natal. And on a national level, he was Minister of Water and Sanitation for South Africa. Those two previous portfolios, taking that into consideration, how much confidence do you have as a forensic analyst, for him to be the Minister of Police?
Look, he's a politician, and he also, acknowledged the fact that the National Commissioner, he will be given space to do his job. And with the National Commissioner, we all know that he's experienced and also not arrogant, for that matter. The only challenge that he's got, in the corridors of SAPS, is for him not having a security clearance. I think he needs to clear that, also with the society. But the minister has outlined that he's new in the game. This is a big elephant to chow, and he wants to learn. And he's the oversight, and he only deals with policies. And if he's a good listener, the people on the ground, they know who are the criminals. The people of the ground, they're aiding and abetting some of these criminals. And once they see that he's got teeth, they will channel all the information towards him, and he'll be a good head of the sheriff in town.
Indeed. Looking forward to what you've just said, see fruition. Senior Forensic Investigator Calvin Rafadi, thank you very much for making time for us this morning. Wish you a wonderful day ahead. There you go. It's your breakfast rush. It's